What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTL podcast. It's Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. Going to welcome you back into the live show. I hope everybody's having an amazing Sunday so far. I had a little bit of time this afternoon, so I'm going to double dip. I'm going to double dip today. You're going to get a 3 o'clock show, and then I'll be back tonight for the Super Show at 8 p.m. But this case I've actually had this show on the books for a couple of weeks now, and it's been in my queue. This is episode 26, and I just haven't got it around to doing it. So I said, well, let's just bang out this episode today, see what we can get in here on a Sunday and just kind of relax a little bit and talk about this case of Alexee Trevizo. Now, I want to let everybody know there is going to be a trigger warning for this show. I'm going to throw the banner up because there's a lot of sensitive content during this show. So I understand if it's too sensitive for some people, they can take this one off, come back at a later show. But I have been meaning to get this in the books for a little while. And I wanted to get this out today, and I figure I would just come in and hang out here. So I hope all of you have been enjoying the shows over the last week. I've been literally streaming, I think, for the last 2 weeks straight, almost every night. We've had some really great guests on. We had Laura back for a little while, and we've been kind of rolling with Detective John for a while. And I hope that you guys are all enjoying that show. We had an amazing, almost 3-hour show last night. We took live calls, and that's something that I want to start implementing into the show going forward. You know, for the night shows, we'll start taking some live calls. Also, if you're watching this right now, feel free to chat away in the live chat. If you're watching this on a replay, make sure to go down there and comment #replay, because I really like to see who's coming in and seeing these shows on a replay, because that really helps push this channel out in the algorithm. So as you come in, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe. This is your first time over here as well. But without that being said, we'll get into the show. Just want to pull up a couple of chatters here. We have Lily Black in the house. Mind Your Business is here as well. She says, I have so many mixed feelings about this case, aside from it being absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible case, something that needs to be covered, and we'll get in this today. Lakota's here as well. Good to see you. Mary Beth is here, and we got Jen DC in here as well. She said, you are the cherry on our Sunday. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So let's pull this up here from the New York Post, and the New York Post reports back on July 1st, teen who allegedly dumped baby in trash is a master manipulator who hid her pregnancy to classmates. I'm not going to read too much of the article, but I will let you know this. We're going to go back. We're going to look at the first initial hospital cam footage. Then we're going to look at the arrest footage. And then I have a couple of things from Law and Crime Network, and I believe one from Court TV as well. And that should round out this show. So let's get into this here. A New Mexico teen who allegedly dumped her newborn in a hospital trash bin was a master manipulator who knew she was pregnant and even named the baby boy before killing him, her classmates alleged. Alexee Trevizo, 19, reportedly denied her pregnancy, blaming her weight gain on birth control pills, but reportedly revealed the truth to some of her high school classmates. The teen's former friends told the Daily Mail. She even planned to name her child Alex, the friends claim. There's a quote from one of those friends that says, she knew she was pregnant and she hid it from almost everyone. A former classmate said, according to the outlet, she told me she had gained weight because she was on the pill. Trevizo, 19, from Arista, New Mexico, was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence in May after secretly delivering a baby boy in a bathroom at the, I think I said that right, Arista, might be right, Atesta Arista General Hospital. She initially aroused suspicion when she was admitted to the hospital with back pain on January 27th, then locked herself in the hospital bathroom for approximately 19 minutes. Trevizo allegedly knew she was pregnant and named her child Alex with her boyfriend, Devin's last name before allegedly killing the child. Doctors and nurses eventually opened the door to a grisly scene. A blood-soaked Trevizo had done something to herself and tried to terminate the pregnancy, excuse me, but but one of the nurses found a dead full-term baby in the trash bin. The red flags were there. Her friend said, as Trevizo gained weight beginning of November, we didn't want to get into her business. The last thing you want is ask someone who looks like they've been gaining weight if she's pregnant, one friend said. When the weight gain became too noticeable to be ignored, Trevizo told her friend she had to go on a diet, but still did not cop to being pregnant, her friend said. She even told nursing staff after she had admitted into the hospital that she was not pregnant and regular periods and had not been sexually active. Throughout lab tests later confirmed she was pregnant. When she was discovered covered in blood in the bathroom, hospital staff initially thought she had tried to harm herself until a hospital keeper found the baby tied in a separate bag at the bottom of the trash. When the news broke of the dead newborn, several people in Arista High School said that Alexee's baby, one of the teen friends said. A few weeks later, Alexee and her boyfriend, Devon, returned to school. There were whispers that about what happened, but no one knew anything for certain, the friend continued. Alexee and Devon came back to school and acted like nothing was wrong. The former classmate added they did not even tell anyone they had been away, nor did Ed ask. This is completely tragic. And I watched some of the interviews. There are interviews out there with the hospital staff, and it's just so hard to watch, especially the lady that was the cleaning lady that had found the baby in the trash bin. It's horrible. It's horrifying. Trevizo was even pictured smiling at her prom months after the alleged killing her child. The photographer who snapped the photo said, "You would never even known about the incident at the hospital." Trevizo set to trial on October 1st. So it's a little bit of a background here, but let's pull up that first body cam footage that we had seen from the active police officer on scene that day in the hospital. And let's watch this. And again, I understand this is extremely triggering. So if you want to take this one off, it's perfectly fine. If this is not your cup of tea, I completely understand. But it is, something that did happen. It is something that needs to be covered, because if we can bring awareness and some positivity out of this, if someone is hurting or in conflict with having a baby, or there's some mental health issues going on, maybe we can get these particular people some help. And, that's why I want to cover this case. I don't know her mental state. I'm sure she will be mentally evaluated. It's a really tough case. Obviously, there was a life that's been lost, and the evidence that's showing so far that allegedly that this baby had been murdered. So I don't like covering stories like this, but we need to bring awareness to it, because if someone is out there and they're pregnant, they're having a hard time, or not in the right type of mental state, maybe they will see this podcast and understand there are outlets out there. There are people that you can talk to, even if you're in a particular state of mind that you may need some help, or a number that you can call. You can certainly email this show here, and I can try to point you. I'm not an expert, but maybe I can give you some emails or phone numbers of people that you can call, or experts that you can talk to. So without further ado, let's watch this first body cam footage of what actually happened that day. The conversation between the ER doctor, the mother, the daughter, and the police officer and other staff that were on hand. It's just truly tragic.
Alexee, I told you about this.
You are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. How big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
So we started working her up. We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up.
Okay.
So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor started doing an exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but She killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom was what happened. And then whatever she did, I don't know. She's going to lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. I just pulled the doctor out of the room. So nothing's been said to the patient or the mother that's in there yet.
Okay.
I have Leela, the housekeeper, if you want to interview her.
Yeah.
She's the one that kind of found.
Yeah, because I wanted to get with you guys first and then get with her to get her statement before I even do anything.
Well, I'm the charge, and this is what has happened.
Okay.
You can interview the nurse that had her.
Okay.
The two nurses that were taking care of her. You can talk to the tech, which is Lori. She's the one that went in there and actually found it because Leela's like, this
I
is
do.
really heavy.
Okay.
So then,
I believe that the autopsy did show that the baby was alive and killed. I may be wrong in that. Like I said, this has been a little while since autopsy, I believe, revealed that the baby had been killed. Yeah, it's born alive.
Lori went in there, and then of course the baby was underneath the clean liner.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, if we can speak to
Hello.
Lori.
Okay, I'll get Lori and I'll get Leela.
So the first thing though is I need to make sure that the mother, the woman who delivered the baby, is medically stable. I don't know if she delivered a placenta. She's bleeding a lot. I just got her accepted to Loveless, so I need to get her up there as soon as possible.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna get into that.
Okay, so how I need to tell
I
her
do have the lawyer's response, so we'll get into that on this podcast today.
what's going on, and I need to tell the mother what's going. The mother, they're both in there together.
Oh,
Is one of you willing to be present for that conversation?
I'll go in there.
Are you guys going?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in right now and get this.
While we're doing that,
And then I'll make sure Leela comes out. All the other nurses and stuff are here, and I'll get Leela here. Okay. She's in the ship. Hey, Maria, will you get Leela back down here? Lori?
I'm sorry, we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out and me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But it
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
was scary. It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it? Okay, stop right here.
I
Stop,
just
stop.
put it in the
Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I need your, obviously need
I
your.
think the thing that's very disturbing to me when I watched this and I started to learn a little bit more about this case, and you all may agree with me, is that there was, from the mother and the daughter, there was never any questions about how the baby was doing. There was never any outrage. And I found that to be truly disturbing on both parts. It's just an incredibly tragic situation. And it literally tears at your heartstrings.
Your permission to transfer her for medicals.
She's 19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's
No,
still
no,
19
you're
years
you're
old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19.
Keep out of me.
But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Yes.
I,
Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
and nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know, but the
That's not
baby's
true.
gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator.
How is the mother not outraged? This is crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are gonna be. Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it gonna be?
I cannot believe how
I don't know. We're
calm
working on it.
this
Okay.
family,
Maria,
this
maybe
mother and
25
daughter
minutes.
is right
Yeah,
now.
hopefully, yes.
I got detectives on the way, so
Okay.
they're gonna be talking for.
Okay.
She's not yelling
Do
at
you guys
her.
have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full
What
term.
the fuck, man?
What?
9 months?
Nothing was crying.
Lexee, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
Any other questions? Okay.
So as of right now, like I said, is we're gonna have the detectives come over here and they're gonna talk to you, okay? We have to gather some more information about what's going on. They'll get your statement. They're gonna get the doctor's statements. They're gonna get everybody's statements, okay? So I don't know everything yet, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you. I can't tell you nothing honestly, okay? All I can
Like,
say
she's
is
not gonna go to jail.
right now,
No.
well, right now she's being detained, so she's not gonna leave from here at all.
Worried
Period.
about going
Okay.
in now.
So one of us will
Is
be
it in
in.
your custody?
Yeah, she was charged with murder.
Detained.
Yeah, she was.
She's
First
not
degree
under
murder.
arrest, but she is
Okay.
detained. Okay, she's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up, is you're not free to leave. Okay, one of us will be in here the whole time with you
Yeah, she
because
never.
you're not going to try to leave or nothing like that.
She won't.
Like I said, the detectives will be here. They're going to talk to you. I mean, your care is of the utmost right now. Okay, they're going to do what they need to do to take care of you to make sure you get stable. They get you transferred out or whatever. Like I said, the detectives are already been notified. They're already on the way, so they're going to come talk to you. All right. So don't leave. Don't try to do nothing. One of us is always going to be in here in this room with you. Okay, unless we have to step out for doctor's orders, something like that.
You know, the problem with all of this is this comes back to education now. You know, we have to look at what we're actually teaching our children in schools now. And there's a lot of controversy of the things that are being taught in our schools now. The right things are not being taught in our schools anymore. Sex ed is not the same way that it was 20 years ago when we all went through it, or, you know, maybe longer. What are the right things to do? Use protection if you're a teenager, use protection during sex. Now it's worried about, and believe me, I don't want to get very political on this, but, now the things that we're seeing is, there's just these strange books that are showing up in our children's curriculum, and, worrying about transitioning and stuff like that. It's not basic care that we give these young individuals anymore. And education is not only at school, but it's also at home too. So, somewhere along the lines of this young lady's development, that she wasn't taught the right things. And, that's where we have a lot of disconnect with these young parents and these young kids nowadays. They're not being told or taught the right values in life. That's just being skipped. And I was talking today on my members only live this morning when I did it, I go back to thing about people do not look in, what is the words I'm looking for? People do not take in their environment anymore. I see so many people walking around, young kids with just ear pods in all the time. And you're not able to soak in that environment around you and develop those human instincts and develop those things that are right, the things that keep you safe, that intuition. You're blocking all that frequency out with music or noise or whatever you're doing, but you're just clearly not listening to your environment around you and taking all that in. That's all part of the human mind, and that's all part of human development. Shutting that off at such a young age and not developing your brain, leads to situations like this. And it's very sad. What she did is wrong, 100% wrong. But somewhere along the lines of this young lady's path, she wasn't taught correctly. She wasn't shown the right way. And that's probably a failed school education system and failing at home, that ignore your child syndrome. And it's terrible. I mean, now she's in a completely awful situation that she's probably going to go to jail for the rest of her life if she's found guilty at trial. And now you've lost a young lady that has completely lost her life. You've lost a baby's life that did not get to thrive in this amazing world that we live in. What would have happened with that baby? And you have now the parent or parents and the community, that's going to suffer, and this is going to be a stain on this community. Now this will always be talked about, and it's just horrible. It's really tragic. And again, I don't want to get political with this stuff, but just kind of giving you my thoughts on this. But we'll keep playing through here and see what happens.
We need to examine you or do something with you. But other than that, like I said, you are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Where was the baby at?
I don't know. I have no clue yet. Like I said, I just talked to the charge nurse. We're still getting all the information right now. Okay. Once we get that information, like I said, the detectives, they can clue you in on everything and talk to you more about it.
Okay.
All right. So. Do you happen to have an ID on you, perchance?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Can we get that?
Mm-hmm.
I just think, and I'm going to go there. I think that we have too much angst in our education system now to focus on people transitioning, where we're not even giving basic care, basic human skills, basic skills of life to young mothers. We don't teach that anymore. We're too worried about writing books about transitioning and, clothing at Target. And look, I am someone that if you can do whatever you want in your life, I want you to be happy with who you are. If you are a person that wants to transition or, do that, that's your business. But I just have a problem when it's pushed on our children, because their brains haven't developed yet. Their brains are still developing. They haven't made those decisions. They don't have enough inside to make those decisions. And look, I understand people are born gay, people are born straight. I get that, and it will come out naturally. But when you're forcing this stuff on people that may not feel that way, I just think that's wrong. But if you're a guy and you want to be a girl, that's your business. If you're a girl and you want to be a guy, I celebrate all of that. But we just need to get back to just basic skills with our society. And we don't do that anymore. And it's just really sad. So I hope I didn't offend anybody by the way I'm talking. I don't think I'm being offensive at all. I'm a person that's completely open to all walks of life, and you have to do what's right for you. But I hope you understand my premise here is that it comes down to basic skills and basic, I don't want to say survival skills, but education skills. And we've really gotten away from that. And just the way that things are now is just, it's just getting crazy. It's really, really crazy. So I hope you all understand where I'm coming from.
All that information. Call it in. Not on radio.
Okay.
Hang tight right here with her. Okay. I'll be back. Ma'am, could we get your ID also, please?
Yes.
Could we put you?
Yeah.
Do you have anything on here? Okay. Sorry.
I'm not going to get in like a really back and forth, but I think you understand. I hope you can understand what I'm getting at. This is really pushed to the forefront. I personally have never heard high school education now talking about basic sex ed courses. I'm saying there's a very strong emphasis on transitioning now. And I knew this was going to be a really tough podcast to get into, because I know that people weigh different ways on this. I have no issue. Like I said, if you want to transition and that makes you happy, I think that's completely great. But I'm just saying that it seems now in society that is really the push now. And we've gotten away from basic skills, basic sex ed. We don't hear that anymore. And again, I've been in high school in 20 something years, but from what I'm understanding and what I hear from high school students now is that they don't have these basic survival skills. And, you know, like I said, and I just want to make this clear, if I want everybody to do whatever in their life that makes them happy. If you want to marry a man, then I think that's great. If you want to marry a woman, I think that's great. Whatever is going to make you happy. But I'm just getting down to the basics of what children now. And this somewhere, what I'm saying is somewhere along the lines, this young lady did not get those basic skills, whether it be a failed school system or a failed parent, because she is in a huge predicament now that she may never be able to get out of. You know, she's probably going to go to jail for the rest of her life if she's found guilty.
Can I step out? I'm gonna call my husband.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'll be back.
It's fine if you don't want to agree with me. I understand that. You have your way that you feel. I have my way that I feel. Perfectly fine. If that upsets you and you don't want to watch anymore, I understand that too. But that's why we come here. We have this public forum to debate those issues. So,
Where did you put the baby at? Tell me the truth.
517.
but I want to ask you though, Harlan. I want to ask you, when in the news, have you ever heard, you know, oh wow, schools are coming out and they're teaching basic sex ed now, and we're really making a push to make our society, you know, understand all these survival skills and understand these basic skills of childcare and raising a child. I haven't heard much of that, not lately, in probably the last 10 years. I haven't seen any major news stories about that. So I guess that's my point.
You put it in the bag?
Yes.
In what bag? Why did you say anything to us? Do you want to get in trouble for this now?
Yeah.
You could get in trouble for
Mom,
this.
Mom, just give it time. Okay?
Yeah, remember
Let's
the
detectives when
gave you the
I'm
baby.
okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
You ready for the second one?
I don't think they do that anymore. Do they do that anymore?
I'm gonna work on that.
Second. Last three of that second one. The last three of the second one is 333.
Let's see.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, Alexee. I know it's kind of tough right now, okay? I know you're scared and everything that's okay. As of right now, I cannot allow your mom to be in here with you, okay? So once the detectives get here, then she may be able to come back in here. But as of right now, I can't allow her to be back in here, okay? If you need something, we're not going to stay in here, okay? Because I think it makes it worse that we're here anyway, all right, obviously. And I know you're scared. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay on the outside of the door, okay, as long as you promise me you're not gonna hurt yourself, okay? Like I said, this is a lot, I know it is, okay? You're young, you know, I don't wanna.
And the cop even feels really weird in this position.
Your anxiety and everything else, okay? If you need something, just push that button, okay? And then they'll come in there. They're on the way. Okay. Okay. So as soon as they get here, they're gonna talk to you. I mean, the reason why your mom, well, not yet. So I can't let you back in here yet. Yeah. Once they get here, then it's up to the detectives to get out them if you can come back here. If they're okay
Absolutely.
with back here, then you come back here. Okay. The reason why is because you're an adult. You're 19 years old. Okay. If you're a juvenile, I would gladly have it.
It's super uncomfortable.
But when you're an adult, I can't have you. So, if you have any questions, like say push that.
Can I go sign some forms?
Yeah.
This is giving us permission to transfer you to Wetness. Dr. Barry is gonna take them. You sign here.
She don't want to sign it. Oh, she signed.
One form.
I thought she didn't want to sign anything.
This is for the flight crew is gonna transfer you to that facility, so just sign the date. Today's the 27th.
No, it's funny. I'm just reading a comment. You know, I got someone that commented. They're like, "Oh, you have a great podcast, but your intro is too long." I don't think people understand. Like, this is a live show. Like, literally, intro is like 30 seconds. There's shows that are nationally sponsored that have like 3-minute intros, and they're telling me just get to the point. No, I won't just get to the point. It's my podcast, and I'll take as much sweet time as I want because I'm enjoying the time with my friends that come into the chat and chat in here. So I just always find that funny. People like, "Oh, your intro's so long." I'm like, my intro is literally 30 seconds. It's supposed to pump everybody up. It's supposed to give people time to get into the podcast because this is always a live show. So it gives people time to get in so they're not missing the beginning. And I usually do kill about 2 minutes so the room will fill up. So, I mean, there's nationally sponsored programs out there that have longer intros, like 2-3 minute intros. Some have 5. They'll play like recaps, and it's hilarious. People bitch about this, the stupidest things. It's exactly, it is my show.
They're gonna transfer her in 30
I know
minutes.
other podcast shows that do live shows that have 3-minute intros that it's the same channel you all watch.
If y'all by chance know where she's going,
Oh, I have to talk to her about that. We just told her that she can't
I got
do
you.
nothing back. I mean, once she gets taken or whatever, then
I got you.
yeah,
I was just gonna let you know where she's being transferred.
yeah, no, you
Is that
can.
cool? Okay.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Baby. Put the baby in the bag. Full baby. She had the baby. The full baby.
Right.
She's still in there. She's gonna get airlifted out, transferred out for because she's still whatever she's got going on or whatever. So they're gonna transfer her out. The housekeeper.
My intro's
I
like
didn't
30
talk to her too much.
seconds.
She's got recent got her information, and then the nurse had actually ran there, got the baby and opened the bag, and then they rushed her to the baby into trauma 1. And that's when they started working. So I got the bathroom closed off, and then I got the trauma room closed off because the trauma room, the housekeeper went in there because they called her to go clean it up. So obviously before she checked the trash can, she cleaned everything up. When she threw everything in the trash can, she looked it up, felt it was heavy, put it down. When she looked in there, that's when she saw the baby. And then, yeah. So then they took obviously the baby in the trash can, trauma 1, put the baby on the table, and then that's when everything understood.
I'll take it back.
But other than that, so I got.
Hey, Rachel, how are you? Good to see you over here. Always gonna find something. It's always gonna find something. It's never too long. It's never too short. You never do this. You do I love it. So
Well, see,
good.
she was cleaning it up first so she was in there. So she said she actually we were here because one of our other guys arrested her, and she said, "Hey, she needs to go to the bathroom." So
I work hard on this format.
About 2 minutes later,
It takes a lot of work.
Come out. So they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" Check on her. She's like, "Yeah, you want to come out? You want to come out?" Gave her another like.
And the reason I do it is because I want it to be a show. I want it to be a presentation. So you have an intro, pump up the crowd, get everybody talking, get everybody moving, get them excited to hear the episode. And then at the end, we have the outro, and that's where everybody can chat and say goodbye. So I don't know. I guess I'm doing the wrong thing. I upset that person in the wrong intro. Dakota, thank you. Super sticker. $1.99 in the bucket.
You said you're looking for someone to talk to your mom?
Yes. Okay. Where I'm going?
Yeah, no, she already knows. Detective.
Is she going?
Yeah, she should be. Detective's up there talking with her right now. So, you have any other questions
Thank
for
you,
us?
Dakota.
Okay.
Huge supporter of the channel. Always talking, emailing, all that fun stuff. Hey, it'd be great if we could pull 100 on a Sunday afternoon. Where the room's filling up. Feels good. Smash that like button as you come in. Smash that like button. All right, they're just going to show her getting airlifted out. We don't really need to go too much into that. So let's go to the next video. This is the arrest video. The arrest video. Here we go. Back on 5/10/2023, the arrest video of Alexee Trevizo in New Mexico.
I want to knock on front.
Man, it is dry there, huh? Dry as hell.
Alexee. Yeah, I think we went out.
Yeah, she acts super clueless. I remember this.
I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
Arrested.
I will give it to her whenever
Can I see your warrant?
she can see the warrant when she gets arrested.
This is my house. I
Right.
have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We don't have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
You can go to the detention. Do you know where it is?
Everything?
It's
Okay,
nowhere.
so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got a copy.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
I mean, she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
We'll tell you that. But we
Okay, then let me know now.
It looks
Let
like
me know
she-
now. I'm giving you the corporation. I told you answer my question. What is she under arrest for?
Like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that we can't really put that information, but bring her out here. We'll tell you.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right now.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let
Thank
me
you,
know what
Cindy.
she's
I
under
appreciate
arrest
She's
for.
arrested regardless of how many I don't know why.
For what? For what?
Yeah, I don't
For
know.
what?
Everybody's
You okay with telling her?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide.
a lot of my moderators just haven't been around. You know, it's summertime, so a lot of people are out. Some people have kids. So yeah, you know, I wish them well in what they're doing. You know, it's summertime. There's a lot of family stuff going on, and you know, people are just busy. All their kids are out of school and stuff like that. So, but he was here last night.
And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence
Yes.
at the hospital?
Yes.
So, can you hear me?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's busy
I
time.
have a right to see a warrant. It doesn't matter if she's over the age of 18. This is my house. You have a right. You have to show me that warrant.
If we're searching her house,
Even if she's under arrest, you have to show me the
it's
warrant.
up to her to show us.
Damn wind, huh?
Sarah, this is Rodriguez. Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for her arrest. Okay, thank you so much.
You good?
Uh-oh. What's going on with my stream? Here we go. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll get to, well, there, I'll give you a copy. She gets her copy.
Yeah, I completely
Yeah, it's up
agree.
to her.
And again,
Can I
you know,
see
we
the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
We
not.
talked a little bit about this in the beginning of the podcast. You know, I think this comes down to education. You know, I don't think that our young kids in school anymore are really getting taught this. And, you know, it's all state to state what happens. But I think basic education, sex education should be taught in our schools. You know, I think that's a lost, I don't want to say like lost art, but a lost subject. And then it should continue through the parents as well too. So like I said, you know, I was saying at the beginning of this podcast is that, you know, somewhere along the lines in this young lady's life that had been missed. And if this preventative education or education from the mother to her daughter, you know, maybe this tragic accident would have, you know, I'm not accident, just this tragedy should have never happened. But again, you know, she is right now, she's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. She will get her day in court. I believe it said October 2nd is her trial or her first prelim. So, all right, let's keep watching through this.
Can I see the arrest warrant? I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital. I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Gary, this is Brooke. Gary. The detectives out here wanting to arrest me. They say they have work.
Yeah, she was.
Okay. So I guess do I do it?
Good arrest mom for obstructing.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Trying to do
You're
that.
protected there.
Oh, they said it's for whole patient homicide and tampering with evidence. Okay. Okay.
Probably just nosy neighbor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's here. She's here right now. Yeah.
Oh, no. Might not be a nosy neighbor.
Guess I put the better part of
Could you please let me know all of us?
That is his policy.
I will give it to you. Please don't. Please don't.
You ran away from 1002 West
Yeah,
Washington.
it's nothing personal. It really is. And we understand, but we have to do our jobs too.
I understand that. I understand that. That's Melanie. That's Devin's.
Someone's calling the show from.
She's good. She's okay.
Someone's calling
We're
the
not gonna be
show
rough
from
with her
last
name. We're
night.
just gonna take over
The
there.
number,
Please
they're
don't
probably
be
watching the
rough with
video,
her, please.
thinking that it's live.
Just bring her out. You can be with her the entire time.
That's my Google Voice.
Do you know where the
I'm
public
gonna
safety
turn that
complex
off.
is? 3200 West Main?
I gotta put it on
You can follow us over there.
call 4.
I will take you there. You can follow me.
How do I call forward on it?
As soon as I release the criminal complaint to her, she can then give it to you there, okay?
Someone's
When
probably
can I
watching
get
the
like
replay from last
her
night.
bond? What?
That's set up by the judge. It's Magistrate Judge Chuck Foster. He should be doing it. If it's after 3, he'll be doing it in the morning.
Ooh, it's a spam call. Suspicious spam.
Go on the back? All right.
Oh, how do you put it on?
What's your name?
Nah, I don't think it'd be a problem.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
You don't know it?
I don't know.
Alexia, do you know your date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
11/25/03.
Yeah.
Do you have to walk her all the way over there? Can you bring the car up here? Please.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
That's all. Just please.
I'll go get it.
Alexia, are you okay with your mom getting your criminal complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal information
Can you
on it.
repeat that?
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have to serve you first, then your mom can get it, okay?
She's so young.
I do. He's gonna move his unit around. No medications, anything you need to take while you're in there.
No, sir, no.
Okay.
She has still been like bleeding, so I don't know if she needs.
Do you have any? They do. I don't know if they have tampons.
They do have family products.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure if you take your own, you can use your own.
Can she? Do you want to grab some? Can she grab some of that real quick? Or?
Yes.
Do you mind if
Get your little bag.
So tragic.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just making sure you're doing.
Just grab your little.
Okay. And just nothing sharp, no flammables, nothing sharp. Okay. Okay. They're gonna check it when you get over there. Okay.
Okay.
Confirms that address is 611 North First Street. 611 North First.
Okay. We'll check those. Same thing. Okay. We're gonna check all that when you get over there. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going up there right now too. Okay.
All right. What's in there?
Personal pads.
Just
Personal pads?
Yeah, she needs them.
Follow me.
First Ranger West Main Street Public Safety Complex. If you
Listen, I just want to put this out there. I didn't mean to open up a big can of worms at the beginning of the show. I don't want people like fighting in the chat. I think we all have our personal feelings on these particular subjects. And maybe I was wrong to bring some of the things that I brought into the conversation. It's just kind of how I feel. And I basically was just saying, like, it's just basic skills. It's basic skills that our young children are not getting anymore. And, I'll kind of leave it at that. But I don't want people like fighting in the chat. And, I knew this was going to probably bring up some controversial subjects today of how people feel about abortion and not feel about abortion, and maybe stuff like that. And I understand that it gets very political in these things, and people have very polarizing ways that they explain this or how they feel about this when we talk about stuff like that. That wasn't my purpose of the stream today. So I apologize if I offended anybody. But again, I just want to make it very clear to everybody here in the chat or anybody that's watching this podcast back on replay. I want people to live their lives any way that makes them happy. What you do, whatever makes you happy, but you can't hurt anybody. You can't physically hurt anybody in the way of doing that. You can't. I think you understand my point here. But whatever person you want to be with, or whatever person you want to be in life, that's your choice. And if that makes you happy, I completely support that. I have friends and family from all walks of life, and I would never criticize anybody in the way that they feel or the way that they act or whatever they want to do. So I want to make it very clear. I'm not against anybody. I'm not against any particular type of communities, anything like that. And I think everybody in this chat can understand the way, that I'm speaking now, and probably feels the same way as too. I might not politically line up with a lot of the people in the room here. And I don't want to get into politics. It's definitely not something that I want to do here on LTL. Maybe in the future or something like that, but not now. And, I just want to clear that up. My basic thing was to bring this case forward, have a discussion about it, because this can be prevented. This can be prevented. And I think through education, through her school, and through the parents that raised her, this could have been prevented. And it's an absolute tragedy It's a sad situation. We've lost a young baby that will never, ever have an opportunity to grow and thrive and be productive in our society. And now we've lost this teenage girl as well, too, where she'll never be able to grow up, thrive, and be in society. Now, I don't know if there's issues. I don't know if there's mental issues. I don't know that, but we will find out in trial. We'll find out during this trial, and we will find out what will happen to her. If she's found, not guilty, then I hope that she gets the help that she'll need to be productive in life. If she's found guilty, then I hope she gets the help that she needs going forward. So, again, we'll just continue through here with the podcast and, just bring this case forward so people can know about it. Okay.
You just go through the front door. You know where we first spoke in the records?
Yeah.
So you just go over there. Is there already 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll meet her in the front.
Okay. I'll get with him and do all stuff. Go to dispatch.
Okay. We'll meet you in the front. Okay.
We're Tampa. I'll be headed your way shortly.
Relay the rest.
I'll be headed your way for the relay shortly.
I don't think we're going to get much more. Oh, all
Alexee,
right. We're going
there's
to
your
get
criminal
to the
complaints.
station. I thought it wasn't going to be too much more there, but
Well, I want to ask you before I give it to your mom. Are you okay with her getting that information? Serial number, all that.
it's New
Okay.
Mexico.
Would you like me? Would you want to keep this to read her, or would you want to give this to your mom, or would you want her to have a copy?
You can just give it to her.
Okay. You don't want to read it?
Right now, yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. The next one is a search warrant for your person. Okay. This is for you. Your date of birth, your social security number. I'm going to be searching your person. What I'm going to be doing is getting a buccal swab sufficient for laboratory testing. Okay. This is both yours to keep.
DNA.
Okay. I'll make a copy so you can read it and your mom can get one. Okay. Have you ever been to the doctor's office?
Like recently?
No, just in your life. Okay. You know when they do a swab of your mouth to see if you have a cold, something like that?
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to be doing. All I need you to do is open your mouth wide, like you're yawning. I'm just going to touch the inside of your mouth with a.
All right. Not much more here in this video. I just wanted to show the arrest. They're just going to perform a buccal swab. I want to go forward here with another video that was about 2 months ago when the lawyer of Alexee had spoke out. So we're going to hear from that lawyer, and then there's another follow-up video, and then we'll end this stream, and then we'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Let's play this. The Law and Crime Network.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out and he didn't know.
We're now hearing from the attorney for a New Mexico high schooler accused of murdering her newborn son by tossing him in a hospital trash can. He says his client didn't even know she was pregnant and alleges there may have been malpractice on the hospital's part.
But not a single one of them told her that she was pregnant. Not a single one of them told her that we need to examine you.
Body camera video of the January 27th incident has gone viral, showing police and doctors speaking with 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo after the baby was found in a trash can.
In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And that thing was crying. It came out with nothing.
At the time, Trevizo was admitted to an Artesia, New Mexico hospital for severe back pain.
And she went to the hospital thinking that she was suffering from low back pain and severe abdominal pain, and went there and indicated on a pain scale of 1 to 10 that she was at a 10.
After cleaning a bloody bathroom Trevizo had just used, a hospital staff member found the baby inside a trash bag.
She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened.
The newborn baby died, and Trevizo was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence this month. This week, she was released on $100,000 bond ahead of her high school graduation on May 25th. But her attorney, Gary Mitchell, tells us she will not be attending.
She's 19 years old. She's a high school senior, graduates next week, although they're not going to allow her to go to her graduation because of the controversy in the community. And they just don't want to have any chaos. She's agreeable to that.
Law and Crime Network reached out to Artesia High School for a comment. The district superintendent responded via email, quote, "I am unable to make a comment on personal student matters."
They asked very politely. Artesia is one of the finer school systems in the state of New Mexico. And they at least honor their protection of students. They're very good about that. And they simply asked, and there was not an order or a command from the school as far as we know. They just asked that she not be there so as not to generate any issues whatsoever. And so she agreed to that. But she took her last final and is to receive her diploma.
Mitchell says Trevizo went back to school in January after giving birth, but after her arrest, only returned to take a final exam. He says she has a 3.8 GPA and has already committed to attend New Mexico State University in the fall. On top of that, he says she's never been in trouble before.
She has absolutely no criminal record, not even a moving traffic offense, no juvenile record, no suspension from school ever, no infraction.
Doesn't make right to do what she did to that baby.
An honor student and already admitted into college. And a member of the cheer team since she was a freshman in high school, a member of the choir, just an all-around top-notch student.
And she may be, but it doesn't make it right what happened to that baby.
In trouble.
On January 27th, when she was admitted to Artesia General Hospital, Mitchell says Trevizo didn't expect to give birth.
So she is shocked whenever she delivers a baby. And then the issue of what caused the baby's death is going to be one that's going to be litigated. I already have a real good idea what caused the baby's death. It had nothing to do with my client. She was not at fault.
Mitchell says Trevizo had spent 4 hours working out with her cheerleading team earlier in the day and was dehydrated. He says pregnancy didn't even cross her mind.
There's no question that she thought she had been protected. There's no question that she had wisely used birth control, she and her boyfriend. So, but obviously it didn't work.
Upon arrival at the hospital, Mitchell says Trevizo was loaded with medication, including Zofran, sodium chloride, and morphine.
They gave her major medication. Some of that medication certainly dangerous to a unborn child or fetus, and contraindicated if you're pregnant, certainly contraindicated if you're going to breastfeed later on. And that medication was started without finding out whether or not she was pregnant.
Oh, boy.
He says eventually hospital staff learned Trevizo was pregnant, but didn't tell her before she went to the bathroom. He argues she should have been monitored during this time.
This is a classic instance. The female feels the need to go to the restroom. Maybe we better check and make sure she's not delivering a baby. I mean, you just don't allow that kind of thing if you know what you're doing. They did, and they didn't bother to tell her.
So it's the hospital's fault.
Mitchell also stresses Trevizo
I have a real
gave birth
issue with this
alone.
lawyer. I'm sorry.
So this is a situation in which the hospital failed her,
I have a huge
The
issue.
nurses and doctors
I
failed
don't
her.
like this guy.
The officer, the medical investigator has failed her.
When
I mean,
asked
I
why
get it. It's
Trevizo
a
put her
lawyer.
baby in the trash can, Mitchell
here to
echoes
defend
what
her,
Trevizo says in
but
body
I
camera
got a
video.
problem.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth. It was not crying or nothing.
The baby was dead. She took her baby. I know and I'm not at liberty to get into that. I need to save that for our experts and stuff to discuss. And I really don't want to tip off the state of New Mexico to what my client might say. But let me put it this way. People would be very pleased with the actions that she took and the way she handled the situation, despite the fact she's on major pain medication, is in total shock, and in a state of panic. She still tried to do the right thing by her baby. I'll tell you that much. And that baby wasn't put in the trash right away.
As Law and Crime Network reported, an autopsy
But the
conducted by
problem
the
is,
Office of the
I'm
Medical
going to say this,
Investigator showed the
MJC
baby's death
raised
was
some good
not
points.
consistent with a
But the
stillbirth,
issue is
finding he
that
had
she took that baby and put it in the garbage. So that's what's going to be a really hard thing, I think, for the jury to figure out. You raised some really great points. I'm going to tell you that was some really great points, but I think this is going to be a really hard case to try unless they can determine through the autopsy that the baby may have been smothered or something like that. But the problem that I have is that if she's saying that she didn't know, and then the baby just ends up dead in the bottom of a trash can with a liner on top of it, I don't think that it was medication that killed the baby, So it may lessen the charges. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. You're 100% correct. However, it does change what the charges would be, because I don't think it was premeditated, and I don't think she intentionally murdered the baby. And that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. It's just a hard case. It's very weird. It's a weird case to really come up with a determination, but I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's weird that she put it in the garbage and put a liner to try to hide it, when she could have just went to someone and said, "Oh my God, I just had a miscarriage." Why didn't she come running out? And she's like, "I had a miscarriage." She hid the baby. So that's what I have, an issue with. And I think Bella has it, Bella, it's tampering with evidence, essentially what she did. So something is weird. Something's off. Something's really off. Yeah, absolutely. She should have called the nurse. Yep. So
air in his lungs. Mitchell says the results can't necessarily be trusted.
I'm obviously going to have another expert look at that. I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't have much confidence in OMI.
He alleges the hospital illegally released parts of Trevizo's medical history, something that may be considered malpractice.
I'm absolutely convinced that not only will we be able to show that she's totally innocent, but we'll be able to show what some people might call malpractice that took place. And that's before we even get into the violations of HIPAA, which is a federal privacy act that protects all of us as patients and protects our medical records, and or the doctor-patient privilege in the state of New Mexico.
Mitchell believes his client will be acquitted of the charges against her when more information comes out.
And I don't intend to hold back in representing this young woman. She didn't deserve any of this. She was an extremely good person, somebody you could be really proud of. And because of our attitude now about women's reproductive care and the way we treat women in this country, she's now exposed to a first-degree murder charge.
In New Mexico, a first-degree murder charge could yield a life sentence. Child abuse resulting in death could mean an 18-year sentence.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls, what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
In a shockingly similar case, Alexee Trevizo, another New Mexico teenager, received a lengthy prison sentence this month after she threw her baby in a dumpster. But Mitchell says these two cases should not be compared.
The parallels that are only drawn is because they're women and they involve babies. In the Hobbs case, which is the one you're speaking of, the young woman in that case was alleged to have placed her baby in a dumpster and that she knew the baby was alive and the baby lived. In our instance, that's not what happened. The baby.
I cannot believe that woman just took a baby out of her car and threw it in the garbage. What the fuck, man?
Due to no.
That lady deserves everything she gets in life.
Now, had she been
Discarded it
rendered
like it
proper
was
medical care,
garbage.
that's a
What
different
the
story.
fuck, man?
But she wasn't rendered proper medical care.
We reached out to Artesia General Hospital for a comment on this story, but have not yet heard back. As for Trevizo's future court dates, Mitchell tells us the next step is a jury trial. So far, a date has not yet been set. Reporting for Long Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
I want to get to something really quick, and I do have that pregnancy picture. Bailey just sent a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. She said, so sad, and your views are right on the they need facts of life. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Let's do this. Let's pull up the picture of when she was cheering. Full-term pregnancy. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. We know what's going on there. Come on, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, bro. You don't tell me that you don't know that something's going on. What the fuck, man? Come on, bro. What the fuck? All right. I got one more video and then the tradition. We end on a positive note. We end on a positive note. All right. We got another about 16-minute video here. This was 2 days ago from the Court TV, from Court TV. Court TV. Vinny!
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And it just seems in the past several weeks, we've had a series of stories that are very unusual and very confusing. And this hour will be no exception to that. One of the stories involves a young woman, she's 19 years old, goes to the hospital complaining of back pain. She goes there with her mom. She ends up, she's in labor, delivers the child in the bathroom, leaves the child in the bathroom, in plastic, in the trash. She's now charged with murder. Take a listen here because police responded. Body cams are rolling, and you get to see some of the statements and reactions like in real time. Let's take a look.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was 9, she had sex.
Basically seeing all this. I want to see the toxicology.
So a big part of the case will be the autopsy and toxicology results. Let's take a look. Cause of death, asphyxia, suffocation, strangulation, manner of death, homicide, how the injury occurred.
There you go. There's your cause of death. There's your cause of death. Asphyxiation, suffocation, strangulation. She strangled the baby. She strangled the baby.
Tied in a plastic bag. Then the important toxicology results. Caffeine, presumed positive. Morphine, free, 19 nanograms per milliliter. Phentermine, 420 nanograms per milliliter. So what exactly do these results mean for the defense? Joining me right now in Ruidoso, New Mexico, Alexee Trevizo's defense attorney. He's back with us tonight, Gary
I'm going to be
Mitchell.
honest with you.
Gary, thanks so much for...
I think that the jury, when they look at this and they find out the regulation of drugs that are given to, you know, the sedatives and all that, if that is consistent with pregnant women that come in, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what drugs they put in you when you come in for a pregnancy. But if this is consistent in the line with what they administer, whatever drugs they gave her is in line with every client or patient that comes in through that hospital, the jury's going to dismiss that, and it's going to go right to the strangulation. This young lady's in a lot of trouble. I think she's in a lot of trouble. The lawyer's going to fight and say that it's the drugs that made her like this. But if it's consistent with what they do, and I don't know, do they get? I don't know. Maybe some of the women can speak up here in the chat room. Do they give you drugs when you go in? Do they give you a sedative when you're ready to go into labor? I would think they probably do. Maybe give you a little morphine if you're in pain. You know, not enough to hurt anybody, but I don't know. Again, I've never been pregnant. I don't know. So maybe some of the ladies in the room can let me know. All right, let's hear
joining
from
us again tonight.
Again.
Autopsy results are out. Toxicology is out. What does it mean to you?
Well, it means that this child didn't die like everybody thinks, and the child wasn't killed by my client. That's what that means. And at the end of the day, we know that there's a major issue with the autopsy and the way they claim that this child died of suffocation. That's not correct.
Thank you.
We also know that the hospital committed
for educating me.
A major wrong in giving my client morphine.
Okay, thank you,
for a lengthy period of time, well over an hour.
When this is presented in front of the jury and they find out that is consistent with every pregnancy or a majority of the pregnancies, and that lines up with the history of what this hospital does, their practice and procedure, or just practice and procedure in medicine, I'm telling you, the jury's going to throw that out and see the strangulation. I think this young lady's in a lot of fucking trouble.
Almost an hour and a half. And we know that the baby had morphine in it as well, which suppressed breathing. So there are many, many issues. We also know this child had certain bacteria that they found at the autopsy, including E. coli, which can cause major problems for a baby or elderly people. We also know that she was positive for COVID and influenza A and B. So we had a very sick child. And we also know that from other forensic pathologists that the type of tests run by the lab, by the Office of the Medical Investigator in New Mexico are not classically used. So we had major issues in that regard. And then we've learned that some of the things that the hospital has been saying are incorrect. She never, for example, she never told them that she was a virgin. She never told them that she didn't have sex. Things of that particular nature. Bro. So there's a lot.
At what point, because we bring it back to the fact that she goes to the bathroom to deliver this child. At what point did the hospital know she was pregnant? At what point did she know she was pregnant?
They knew she was pregnant at 12:51, 51 minutes after midnight. They did not tell her. She did not know she was pregnant until she had the baby at 1:39, 1:40 in the bathroom. That's when she first learned that she was giving birth. So the hospital knew for 46 minutes that she was pregnant. They didn't tell her. They let her go to the bathroom. And we know that a woman giving birth, particularly a teenager, may feel that they simply have to go to the bathroom. You use the same or similar muscles in that regard. We also know that they continue to give her not only morphine, but 5 other different drugs, 4 of which are contraindicated for birth for a fetus. So the hospital knew all of this. They didn't stop. And not only that, they unhooked her from the IV and allowed her to go to the bathroom, knowing that she was pregnant at the time. A cardinal sin in the emergency room.
So what is the status of the case right now? These results are relatively new. It wasn't known the last time we spoke, at least. So are there conversations going back and forth with prosecutors, or are we just on the track of this thing moving towards a trial?
We're on the track of this moving toward a trial. We're in the investigatory stage. At least I am. I'm getting my experts, giving them all the materials. Obviously, you know from my conversation with you that I've already talked to certain experts, and I have a lot of information about the case. Plus, the trial is not set until next year. We know that the trial date that was set in the fall is going to be moved. And I'm preparing motions regarding everything from changes of venue to the misuse of privileged materials to a motion to suppress certain statements and things of that particular nature.
And final question here tonight. Alexee, your client, she's not behind bars, right? She's released and being monitored. What's her status tonight, and how would you describe her state of mind right now?
It's New Mexico. They're blue state.
Well, first of all, she's just graduated high school. She stays alone, with the exception of her parents, and she doesn't go out. She other than visiting a sister or relatives that may come by, she doesn't see any friends. She has no
first-degree murder and out on bond. That's crazy.
No physical contact with her boyfriend, the father of the child. She talks to me, and she's in some counseling as ordered by the court.
All right, Gary.
But other than that, lives a very stoic life.
Yeah. Gary Mitchell, representing Alexee Trevizo. We appreciate your time tonight, Gary, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Autopsy, we showed at the beginning of the program.
Thank you. All right, folks, let's bring in our think tank. Joining us live in studio tonight, criminal defense attorney, entertainment attorney, former.
I want to recognize Mountain Mama. She's been a member of the channel for 4 months. Thank you so much. And if you want to become a member and support the channel, you can. Go down there and hit the join button down there. And my memberships start at $1.99. It's less than a cup of coffee, and you get exclusive access to all my members only content. I did a nice members only live this morning. I was walking around in my local neighborhood and just showing you kind of some of the scenery. So it was really fun. All right, we'll continue.
State attorney in Florida and former assistant DA in Atlanta, Daryl Cohen. Also with us, criminal defense attorneys Marsha Mignon. And finally, criminal defense attorney, the man behind the glasses, Josh Schiffer. And the glasses, Marsha, did you guys set this up ahead of time?
We tried.
It's a long time.
2 months being a member of the Rookie Detective. Thank you so much. She says, keep being you. Thank you.
All right.
We're working on
They're going to do battle with you, Daryl.
Trendsetters.
Yeah. All right. Daryl, the corner of my eye, I'm doing the interview here.
$1.99.
Daryl's making faces throughout this interview. What are your thoughts about this case?
Well, my first thoughts are, I don't think that infant was able to walk from the hospital room bed to the bathroom and jump into the trash can and surround itself with plastic and suffocate. I think her lawyer is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's doing a good job, but he doesn't have the evidence. He may be saying that they made mistakes. This woman sadly killed her child. Whether or not it's murder, as far as
that's what she's charged with.
Well, she's charged with murder, and she actually killed her child, in my view, based on the evidence I see. But having said that, I think ultimately this will end up being a plea, her getting a lot of counseling and a lot of help, because it's an unusual murder. It's terrible, but it's unusual.
Marsha?
I disagree. I think the hospial
See, everyone that sits in that seat usually disagrees with Daryl.
It's a given.
It's the disagree seat.
and
that seat, all those seats. It's not hard. The only reason I disagree is because I know that a lot of times it's difficult to understand how at such a young age she could not know that she's pregnant. It's happened to women even older than she is that say I didn't even know I was pregnant until I got to the hospital.
Come
My
on,
concern
bro.
is that the hospital, based on the information from her attorney, had all the knowledge prior to her, assuming arguendo that's true, that she was pregnant. And if that's the case, there's a whole lot of negligence to go around.
But that doesn't stop a murder. Negligence is one thing. Murder,
strangled the baby.
Actual
dummy
act of killing your child is still a murder.
Well,
negligence or not.
Assuming the child wasn't killed by morphine, assuming the child wasn't killed by all the medications that they were pumping her with when she got to the hospital and said, I have back pain. And if you're pumping her with medication, knowing that she's pregnant, then there might have been a murder, but it was committed by the hospital.
And really, I'm going to follow up on that because really,
Committed by the
I've
hospital?
dealt with hospitals.
Come
I've
on,
been
bro.
deeply involved with one and or more pregnancies.
You've been pregnant?
No, but I've contributed. One of the issues is you don't just go to the hospital and get some morphine. They check into you before they start pumping you up with the good stuff. You also don't really get treated as a woman
they asked her,
without pregnancy
"Are
tests
you
coming
pregnant?"
out really quickly. It's one of the first things doctors do. So I'm really interested to hear about what the hospital did and clearly didn't do. But I agree with Daryl. There's some serious mental health issues involved with this. I find it very difficult to conceive not realizing you're pregnant. And then there's some untruths being shared.
Let's do this.
Here.
Let's watch together. Alexee, this again is on the body cam.
Brooklyn,
This is
by
her
the way,
reaction in the moment. Now,
Great call last night. She's an inspiring paralegal. And thanks for calling in last night. We really enjoyed that phone conversation. Then your phone died. That was great, though.
her mom's in there, the doctor's in there, and obviously officer with a body cam. Let's watch.
I'm sorry. It came out and me and I didn't know what to do. Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
So there was a conversation. There was a conversation with the mother and the daughter leading up to this. And she said, I asked you just to tell me the truth. She was hiding it from her mother as well, too. The mother knew. The mother fucking knew.
Was not crying or nothing.
I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out.
Thank you,
with
Mama.
nothing.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
It's difficult. Let me show you one more piece of evidence, okay? That may be used in this case. I don't know. This is from Yvonne the Plug on TikTok. This is a still frame from a video.
Yeah.
That's her. She's still
Come on,
cheerleading.
bro.
She's still cheerleading. That's her right in the middle. Many
Come on,
that
bro.
we've had in the newsroom have said, yeah, that looks like a baby bump.
It kind of
Come on,
smacks.
bro.
Are you kidding me with the pregnancy unknowing? And really, your body's your body. I find it difficult, even though I admit it's been reported before.
But we think she was on diet pills too.
Yeah, women have been able to be pregnant, and I've never been pregnant, but I'm sure that you can miss some things. But it's so hard to believe.
So you're gonna take my word for it?
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. It's so hard to believe. You're missing something that happens pretty regularly for a number of months, and clearly that young lady is terrified of talking to her mom about this.
And then she runs to the bathroom and gives birth, and then please. I mean, there's negligence, I agree, but there's mental health issues galore.
100%.
Well, if she's got mental health issues, then you've just taken away her intent in murder.
There you go.
No. Mental health issues does not mean you've taken away her intent. It just means she has mental health
Well,
issues.
now her defense would be.
Well, I think the defense, it looks like it's leaning on that this was a stillborn child. Stillborn child. So that's a battle of the experts inside the courtroom.
Did I not hear she said the baby was crying?
No,
she
said
said
that
nothing was crying.
Oh,
nothing was crying.
But it's the lying and the purposeful, willful blindness.
If she didn't know or she knew she was pregnant, she went to that bathroom and somehow a baby came out of her. Why did she put it in the trash? Why was she not screaming? Why was she not like, oh my God, I lost my baby? She hid it inside the garbage. That's definitely going to be a charge there. Okay. Now, the fact of did she do it or didn't she do it? That's what we have the biggest thing. I think what's going to ultimately happen in this, and I'm telling you, it's going to probably get knocked down to like tamper with evidence. She's going to do like 6 months community service and then be back on the street. I'm telling you, that's what's going to end up happening.
So how important is the issue of whether or not she knew she was pregnant?
Critical in a murder case, because you have to have intent. You have specific intent crimes and general intent crimes. Fortunately for her, murder is a specific intent crime. So if she didn't intend to cause the death of the child, prosecutors better be looking at charging something else really quickly.
If there's evidence, like let's say hypothetically there's evidence that she had talked to friends about a name for the baby, that would be really bad for her.
It would be bad for her. However,
really bad.
You talking about the name for a baby doesn't mean
for the baby.
For the baby, when you got to the hospital.
What matters is she put the baby in the trash can. She put plastic around the baby. It doesn't take a brilliant detective to realize she committed a murder.
What if the baby was dead when she put it in the trash?
Then she attempted to commit the murder.
And that's the thing, because they can get her on something.
The whole hour.
They can get her on abusing a corpse. They can get her on everything.
That's what I just said. Tell
All
the
right.
prosecutor needs to look at new charges.
All right. Okay, very sensitive subject to cover today. I wanted to get on this case. It's been in my queue for a while. I just haven't done it, and I found time today that I felt like I could get through this today and do this. I want to do this real quick, and then I'm going to do a wrap up. So to end on a positive note, I want to give this story some shine because this is pretty amazing stuff. So Leslie Dart has planted 372,290 trees across Canada over the past 3 summers and inspired so many others. I'm going to read a little bit of her story here. A young woman in Canada, Saskatchewan, Providence, recently garnered 8.7 million views on a TikTok video of her planting 4,545 trees in a single day. That video author, Leslie Dart, doesn't have a career in forestry and rather recently entered the workforce in aerospace manufacturing, a field in which she recently graduated at Durham College in Ontario. The tree planting is simply a popular summer job for university students that can nevertheless absorb some people in its deep, meaningful monotony. For sometimes 15 hours a day, Leslie slams a spade into the ground, levers out the dirt. This article just jumped. Levers out the dirt and drops in a seed, tamps down with her boot, and moves to the next one. This kind of tree planting is mandated by certain Providence laws to be done in conjunction with logging. Pretty much every tree that is logged for Canada's prosperous timber lumber industry is replanted by volunteers like Leslie. She's volunteering to do this. Oh, paid volunteers. Okay, paid volunteers. I'll just make that straight. So paid volunteers. This ad just keeps trying to jump around. Who makes between 17 and 44 cents per seedling planted that has planted 372,290 trees over the past 3 summers. Sometimes the work is on desolate remains of the area scorched by wildfires. Other times it's in human logging forest and uneven ground, filling the overgrowth of spiky devil's club. And that stuff's nasty if you don't know what that is. And swarming by mosquitoes. Whether her spade takes her through, she says it's deeply rewarding work, which becomes such a part of everyone's life, and they can come back the year to volunteer. I think every parent in Canada should be sending their kid out tree planting because it will take your child and it will turn them into a worker. Kelly Chaplin, a veteran planner of 35 summers and works in the film industry as well as a substitute teacher. They will learn how to work and have responsibility, and they will learn to make money in their pockets. Let's check out this video. Look at this. She's a boss. That's great. Look at the scenery in the back. And you're doing something positive for the environment. Here's another video here. Am I playing it? No. I think it's a little bit down here in the article. I fucked the article up. Another day, another 3,500 trees in the ground. Another planter who spoke with Tara Standard, a photographer and filmmaker, Rita Listener, who worked as a war reporter during Iraq War II. When I worked in war zones and the people asked me what prepared me for work, I told them tree planting in Canada, reforestation requirements for logging companies and following forest fires have seen 1.6 billion trees replanted in Western Canadians province with the devoted individuals like Chaplin and Dart. It's easy to understand. I'm going to play this one last video here. Look at this. She's a beast. That's great. Good for her. That's good stuff. So I wanted to put a spotlight on Leslie Dart today. That's really great stuff to give back to the community. And, you know, yeah, it's paid, but she's out there busting her ass doing it. And for someone in their lifetime to plant over 300,000 trees, that's pretty fucking impressive. So my hat's off to you, Leslie. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing out there to take care of our beautiful earth, because without the earth, we would not be here. I'm going to wrap this up in a second, and I just want to make this, I want to just circle back around to this really quick, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands this. Listen, whatever you choose to do in your life, whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be, or whoever you want to be with, and that if that makes you happy, then absolutely that's what I want you to do in your life. You shouldn't have anybody tell you what is right or wrong. You should make those decisions for yourself. And I know that streams like this sometimes can bring up political commentary or comments. And again, if I offended anybody today, I did not mean to do that. I support everybody of all walks of life. I want everybody just to live their life and be happy. Whoever you want to be with, whoever you choose to be with, whoever you want to be, just do that and do it the best way possible. And you should never feel bad about who you are in life or what you want to do. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the Let's Talk Live podcast. This was episode 26. I'm going to head out of here, but I will be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me just bring up that placeholder for you all. Tonight, we're going to go back to the Carly Russell case and talk about some famous, I guess, hoaxes that have happened all over, all through our time, and just recently over the last 10 years. Actually, I'm sorry, over the last 20 years. So come back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live. Maybe Detective John will be here. Not sure. If not, you have me. And I hope to see you guys all. Have an amazing afternoon, whatever you decide to do. Get out and get some sunshine, because look, the sun is shining out there. I'm going to get out, get some food, and I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you all can make it. Go down and hit the reminder button. Come back and hang out. Just come hang out tonight. Yes, we're going to do Balloon Boy. And I will see all of you soon. Be safe, be kind, whatever you do. Have a great dinner, and I'll see you guys all back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.